Some stories are not told. They are recovered. This is the archive of the strange, the unexplained, and the quietly terrifying. You are listening to Creep Tales Hub. So, let's begin. Our first tale comes from a man named Gregory. A quiet street in upstate New York. A week alone, a blanket of fresh snow, and peace that was about to be broken. Gregory just wanted a quiet dinner until the singing started. Not a choir, not a group of cheerful carolers. One voice, a grown man, standing rigid under the porch light, fixated on the welcome mat, singing Jingle Bells in a slow, looping monotone. A strange, uncomfortable moment. But when Gregory closed the door, the singing didn't stop. It became a soundtrack to his solitude for 10 minutes. Then silence, more unnerving than the song. Peeking out the window, Gregory saw the man had moved. Now, he was just standing at the end of the driveway, staring, a silent sentinel in the snow. A threat to call the police seemed to work. The man was gone. Relief. But upstairs, in the supposed safety of his bedroom, the singing started again. This time, from the backyard. And when Gregory looked down, the man was already looking up. Direct eye contact through the falling snow. The scream that followed wasn't human. It was a shriek of pure rage. Then came the frantic, violent banging on the back door. This wasn't confusion. This was predatory. Gregory barricaded himself. Stay. Why this was happening, and see if you can find me. Called for help and waited, every bang shaking the foundation of his safe, empty home. The police found footprints, leading into the woods. They called it a strange incident, but Gregory knew he'd been chosen, tested by something that wore the skin of a caroler and sang with the voice of a nightmare. But the holidays hide threats in plain sight, not just in empty houses, but in crowds. Our next story comes from someone who was 6 years old, his first NBA game, a birthday gift, the excitement of the crowd, the roar of the stadium, the perfect place to get lost. A tall man approached him by the trash can. Are you lost? He offered help, a kind face. He led the boy away from the stands toward the empty, concrete upper levels. To use the intercom, he said. But when the man checked his phone, a sliver of remembered warning, stranger danger, flared. The boy ran. He made it back. Shaken, but safe. Or so he thought. 'Cause on the drive home, a truck pulled up next to their car. The same man was driving, staring. And later that night, a flashlight beam probing his bedroom window. The man was outside. He'd followed him home. A final message came a year later on New Year's Eve. A knock. A note taped to the glass. A predator doesn't forget his prey. He mocks it, and sometimes he hunts in packs. A family, a father, mother, and their young son, seeking the perfect Christmas tree in a remote forest. A postcard dream, but in the perfect silence of the deep snow, they weren't alone. A man appeared on the path, underdressed, pale. His smile didn't reach his eyes. He knew they were tree cutting. He approved. Their instincts screamed. They retreated, but when they reached their truck, they were trapped. Tires slashed, stranded, and from the tree line, not one, but several figures emerged, watching, slowly advancing. The 911 operator's advice was chilling. You have an axe. Be prepared to use it. They were sitting ducks, waiting for a tow truck, and for the shadows to decide it was time to claim them. The only thing that saved them was the distant wail of sirens. The figures melted back into the woods, their tracks scattering like spiders. These weren't just drifters. They were a trap laid in the winter silence. But perhaps the most violating mask is the one we trust implicitly. The final story is from a 9-year-old boy, home alone, baking cookies by the fireplace. The doorbell rang. Through the peephole, he saw Santa Claus. But this Santa didn't have presents. He had a clipboard and questions. Are you home alone? When the boy didn't answer, Santa tried the doorknob. Then seconds later, the back door. This wasn't a donation scam. This was a targeted attempt. A predator in the most innocent of disguises, checking locks, seeking vulnerability. He only left when headlights, the boy's mother, pulled into the drive. 4 stories, 1 season. A reminder that the darkest things ain't always in the shadows. Sometimes they stand on your porch. singing. They offer help in a crowded place. They wave from the tree line. Or they wear a red suit and a white beard.